Hello. Hi there. Welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series, The Guiding Voice for a Better Future. This podcast is to help professional students, IT employees, and entrepreneurs to shape their careers. Dear listeners, in every episode, we interact with industry experts or academicians or coaches across the globe to drive some insightful conversations that will help our audience learn great things. Also, we share an interesting trivia or fun fact about the IT world or technology towards the end. Thank you for tuning in. This is Naveen and I'm with my co-host Sudhakar. So folks, today we are operating in a fierce and highly competing environment where businesses are trying to acquire their customers. And acquiring customers is not that easy because customers get attracted to quality of service and cost factor comes into picture. So it is not that easy in order to acquire new customers as well as retain the existing ones. So every business is trying to reduce the production costs so that the benefits can be transferred to the customers so that it can increase the sales, revenue, and ultimately drive profits. But the question is, how do we drive cost optimization? If you Google for cost optimization, you'll come across so many different methodologies. But is there any methodology that has been there since centuries and which has been proven its existence and yielding a lot of results? So today we are going to present you a topic which is very, very prominent in the manufacturing world and which has started spreading its wings to other domains as well. And the topic is lean manufacturing, much more with much less. And we are pleased to welcome Vasant to our show.
With over 23 years of industrial experience across Birla Groups and other multinational companies, in manufacturing sectors, Vasant Pattar strives for efficiency and excellence. As part of that journey, he provides corporate training and business consulting for effective implementation and hand-holding of lean manufacturing, Six Sigma, 5S, Kaizen, Pokayoke, SMED, root cause analysis, data analysis tools and techniques, ISO controls, etc., etc. All of this to help in achieving operational excellence and hence the growth of business. Vasant specializes in shop floor management, quality management, systems management, and continuous improvements. Vasant, it is a pleasure to have you today. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Naveen. Thank you, Sudhakar. Pleasure to be in your show.
Excellent. So Vasant, let's get started. What is lean manufacturing in layman's terms?
Yeah, so lean manufacturing simply means, in a layman's word, what is lean basically? Lean means patla, thin bolten, and what we call is thin. So lean means we have to reduce our cost of production to lean, thin. At present, the cost of production is fat and the profit is lean. What we should do is we have to reverse it. We have to make our cost of production lean and profit fat. In common layman's languages, lean means make your cost of production lean, patla karne ka. Bas utna hi hai. So that your profit becomes more fat and fat. That's how we should approach lean.
That is very simple and straightforward.
Yes,
how to implement lean manufacturing process then?
Okay, so lean manufacturing implementation, basically it's not an overnight journey. Okay, it takes a very long time to build a culture also. So first we have to hire a good consultant who is knowledgeable about lean. Otherwise many industries it's failed because they start rapidly, they start without any direction, without any destination. So it gets failed also. So we have to hire a good consultant who is reputed in this field also. Then we have to give inputs to the people across the organization, not one team also. So we have to train the whole organization in batches. Then we have to take out some projects, improvement projects, apply those learnings. So it's not about only knowledge about the lean. Most of the people have knowledge about lean. But the question is how we apply that knowledge in our workplace. It applies everywhere. It's not just about lean implementation. It's across everywhere. So we have to learn the lean tools and techniques. Then we have to apply those learnings in our daily working. Then only gradually we will start experiencing the improvement. By experiencing improvements, we can gradually reduce the cost of production. We can make our cost of production lean, so that the profit becomes fat over a period of time. That's how it should be. Over to you.
Wonderful, Vasant. Being a BPI champion myself, I come across this question always like, is lean applicable only to manufacturing? Like, I don't want to answer that. I would like to hear from you. Is lean manufacturing applicable only to manufacturing sector?
No. Many people ask this. Lean manufacturing is only applicable to the manufacturing industries, which is a wrong concept. Lean is applicable to our own life, personal life. Everybody in our personal life, everybody wants to reduce our cost of जो अपने expenses है. We want to reduce our expenses. That's nothing but lean. We want to increase our savings. That's nothing but lean. By reducing our expenses, by reducing our costs, we want to improve our savings or we want to improve our investments. That's nothing but lean only. So we are applying this knowledge knowingly or unknowingly in our personal life also, and it is applicable not just in manufacturing industry, it is applicable across any industries. You take service industry, you take hospital, everywhere you reduce your overall cost of production, overall expenditures, overall overheads, everything you try to reduce so that you can maximize the profits and you can in turn transfer this profit to the customers so that you become more competitive in the market and you have an edge over the others also in the market. So lean is not just applicable in manufacturing, it is applicable everywhere. Even service industry, or more importantly, it is applicable to our own life also. That's how it is lean.
Absolutely. I concur with you because I've been a lean practitioner and I've been applying these lean principles in the IT industry pertaining to industrial sales, B2B domain, automotive retail, dealer management solutions, digital marketing, payroll software, and now into connected commerce industry. So I completely concur with you, and it is evident that lean manufacturing can be applied in all walks of life. Now, dwelling a bit basics about these lean concepts, we hear a term called as waste, and there are 8 different types of waste. That's what people say.
Yes.
What do you mean by waste in general, and what all contribute to the waste?
Okay. Lean basically focuses on reducing the wastes. What is waste? Waste is nothing but any unwanted thing. जो भी हमको नहीं चाहिए, that is a waste. अगर हमको चाहिए, that is a useful. The thing which is waste for us may be a raw material or useful for others also. So waste is for us which is not useful. That is one thing. And waste is for which customer is not paying. From industry point of view, if we consider for which customer is not paying, that is a waste for us. Because we are unnecessarily processing that activity or material, whatever it is, for which there is no value addition, or rather customer is not want to pay and is not paying for us. Okay. So we have to reduce such things in the manufacturing or service industry. We have to identify such activities, such steps, such processes, anything which is not contributing the ultimate end product or value of that product. So basically there are 8 wastes in the lean manufacturing, what we focus, that we call as TMOODs. TMOODs means first is waste is transportation, then inventory, then motion, then overproduction, overprocessing, defects and skills not used. These are the 8 different ways and which are applicable across any industry segment you take, any industry, IT industry, any industry you take it. So first is transportation waste. We see that many times we get raw materials from far away places and actually it may be available in the nearby place only. So we are unnecessarily spending money on the transportation itself. So we can reduce that transportation cost so that we make our process efficient. Okay, so transportation is like that. Any unnecessary movement of man, material, method, whatever it is, unnecessary movement, we have transportation, we have to reduce it, which is contributing to your cost of production or service. Then is inventory. We are keeping so much of inventory in the industry which is blocking the money. If you take it on a personal life also, we bring groceries necessary for that month only. And we bring generally vegetables necessary for 2 to 3 days. If you keep more inventory, more vegetables for 15 days, they get wasted. Okay, so we have to reduce the inventory as much as possible. That's how inventory is. Then third waste, what we focus in lean is motion. Motion is unnecessary movement of the person which causes ergonomic fatigue, you can say, which will reduce his efficiency ultimately. So we have to reduce on movement. Unnecessary जो movement होता है, इधर से इधर जो होता है man का या बहुत, he is working at the height without any stool or table, which is not making him comfortable. Or हर बार he is bending frequently. Instead of bending, we can keep a table also. So जो body movement होता है, that motion होता है, body motion का, we can reduce those things. It will help in increasing his efficiency. Ultimately, it reduces cost of production or improves his productivity. So that is a motion. Overproduction means if we produce anything more than the required quantity, that is overproduction. Customer suppose wants 100 pieces. If we produce 120 pieces, that 20 pieces is overproduction for which customer is not paying. But we have incurred money on that. We have spent money on that. We have incurred manpower, machine, everything. We have spent, which is for which customer is not paying. That we have to reduce overproduction. If you see overprocessing, customer is not paying for any extra processing. So we have to reduce the overprocessing wherever possible. If we say in personal life also, suppose we are 5 people in the home. Generally, if you eat chapatis per person, if we make 10 chapatis, that is okay. But if I make 15 chapatis, then 5 chapatis are wasted. That is overproduction. Okay, simple. If we consider in your personal life also, 5 chapatis are wasted, which we can avoid it. Otherwise, it's a cost to us. It is waste of money. And overprocessing means during chapati making, if I make it overheat, what happens? It becomes black and it's not eatable. We will not eat that. Again, it's a wastage also. So overprocessing we should not do. We have to process as much as required. We have to give information to the customer as much as required for him. If you give more information which is not required for him, it's a waste of time and money for us also. So that is about overprocessing and overproduction. I think you got it. Defects means which is not up to the quality. Again, I give example of chapati only. If I overeat it, it becomes blackened and it's not useful. It's a defective piece, which is of no use now. So I have spent money on that. I have spent gas. I have spent LPG on that. I have spent atta on that. Everything is a waste for me. So we have to reduce defective parts, personal life or professional life, whatever it is. Then last is skill not used. That is the 8th waste we call. That is the topmost concern in everybody's life or in the corporates rather. Many people have good skills, but which is not used by the industry. And there is other way side also. Corporates are incurring training for these people, but the people are not applying this knowledge in their life also. Again, it's a waste of skill and knowledge. It's both way. One is corporate is not tapping that potential, and even if corporate is giving training to the people are not applying that knowledge in their life also. So it is both way. So we are not using our ability, skill, knowledge, and by which we are not able to contribute to the fullest potential. It's a waste again. So this is about lean wastages where we are addressing all these Timur's wastages. Just by addressing these, we can see tremendous change in the organizational performance, I would say. Apart from this, there are many tools and techniques like by applying Kaizen tool. Kaizen is what? Just don't do any big investment or big machineries, nothing. Just by creative thinking, creative idea, we can bring a lot of changes in the people's life or in our own performance. That's how Kaizen is. Don't focus on big improvements rather than focus on large number of small improvements. That drop by drop makes an ocean, what we call. It's about Kaizen culture. Then we implement 5S also in lean manufacturing implementation. The 5S means improving our overall organizational workplace improvement, housekeeping, everything. It's not only about housekeeping, it is more than housekeeping. In what we call is housekeeping means only jadu pocha marne ka. It's not like that. It's more of an attitude, more of a skill. Okay. Properly 5S concepts we have to implement. Then there are 6 Sigma concept also in the lean implementations. 6 Sigma means level of 6 Sigma is only 3.14 defects per million. That means percentage wise if you take it, it comes to 99.9997. Something like that. But many consultants or people डरा देता है लोगों को कि यार 6 Sigma मतलब 99.99 ही अचीव करने का, otherwise you are failed. ऐसा करके लोगों को डरता है. But I would say it's not like that. Suppose even if you are working in the range of suppose 60% efficiency, you do some changes in the operation. If you improve from 60 to 65%, that means you are going towards 6 Sigma. That means you are going towards perfection. 6 Sigma is nothing but perfection, working towards perfection with 100% efficiency. That's what it is. Only the approach. It's not don't go by the value. 9.99.999 करना जरूरी नहीं है. Many places it's not possible also. But if you improve from 60 to 70, that's good improvement. Sustain it. Then after sustaining, again go from 70 to 75. Sustain it. Like that, you move towards perfection. It is only moving towards perfection. 6 Sigma. It's not necessary to achieve 100% every time. It's not possible practically also. It is only an approach. It's a philosophy. But बहुत जगह ये नंबर के चक्कर में लोग डर जाते हैं. They don't go for 6 Sigma also. They think that our manufacturing industry, it's not possible here. Then why we should hire the consultant? It's not required because we are not able to achieve that. It's not like that. It is only an approach or philosophy. Working towards perfection, working towards zero defects. It's only that much. Okay. So like this, there are many technical tools, but rather I would say that implementation of this lean manufacturing requires soft skills also. It's not only about technical skills. That's what I know most of the things, but if I don't implement them, then what's the use of that knowledge? So for that, I should have good communication skill also. I should be a good team player also, because I can implement that knowledge with the help of others also. For that, I should be a good team member. I should be a good communicator. Okay, I should be able to perform those tasks within the time. So I should be focused on my soft skills also. Then only we can implement this lean manufacturing. That's why during all the trainings, I focus more on soft skills also. Because technical skills we know, 5S I know, 6 Sigma I know, everything people know that. but what about implementation? They fail in implementation. That's why I focus more on soft skills. That's how we should approach Lean Six Sigma. Over to you, J.N. Sudhakar ji.
Do you want to secure your data while browsing on potentially risky networks? Are you worried about protecting sensitive information on your mobile devices when you are traveling? Do you want to access your favorite limited streaming services wherever you are by using VPN servers in the countries where they are available? If your answer is yes to any of these, Surfshark VPN is the right VPN service for you. It is jam-packed with features that go way beyond the basics. It is fast and easy to use as you connect to the fastest server by default. Also, it is easy to install, and the icing on the cake is you can run it on unlimited devices using a single subscription. Exciting, isn't it? There is one more exciting news. All TGV listeners can download Surfshark VPN software with an 83% discount and extra 3 months of free subscription. Yes, you heard it right. Surfshark is offering this special discount exclusively to the Guiding Voice audience. To avail this offer, just visit surfshark.deals/TGV2021 and purchase the subscription. Click the promo link in the show notes right now. Hope you'll utilize this limited period offer and also share it with your friends. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. That is really helpful. And coming from Motorola, I definitely appreciate that Six Sigma as a concept. It is not like you need to go and get only this 99.9999 only. It is the journey towards it. And I really liked the example that you picked, Vasant, that it is not something that can happen overnight. It is the journey in which you need to influence the people, process, tools, and the mindsets so that you get into that right journey and identify the success at each milestone. Thank you very much for that explanation. In fact, I remember a scene from the movie The Founder. I think it is based on that McDonald's, right? John Lee Hancock is the director, where he showcases that the journey, how it gets started and how it gets scaled up, like you rightly said. So can you please share any recent real-time project experience where you went in and you could immediately see that these are the top 2 or 3 things that can change the overall course? Like you said, just adding a table, for example, so that you can avoid bending regularly, or just adding a ladder so that you don't need to stretch yourself. Any such example real-time, Vasant?
I would say I visited a textile factory recently, and in the textile factory, the yarn is moving continuously on. One guider is there. Okay, there's a ceramic guider, and due to continuous friction, that guider got a line on that, and because it means it got a crack on that, and it was causing the yarn breakages, and machine was frequently stopping, and they are losing that efficiency. And for that guider, it's a ceramic guider and imported guider. It was costing around, I think, 150 rupees. Okay, and there are around thousands of positions are there, so it's a costly for them also. And they are losing efficiency because they are imported guiders. And when I visited that, they said that we are losing efficiency because of that guider. At only one particular point, there was a crack on that ceramic part. Because of that, yarn was breaking. And they are changing frequently those guiders. Then when I visited them and during a routine round in the shop floor, I said that why this machine is stopped, and they said because of guider change and all those. And I said, what you are doing in that case? They said we have to change. There is no other way also. And I simply said that if you just rotate the guider position, remove that crack position and bring the good position at that place where yarn is making contact. Again, it will run for that some more time. Similarly, the same guider you can use for 4-5 times also, because the guider was making crack at only one point. So just by rotating that position, bring some new surface at the point of contact with the yarn. So like that, you can rotate gradually wherever the crack happens. 3-4 times you can reuse that ceramic guide instead of replacing at the first crack itself. They said it's wonderful, just by rotating the guider we can just reuse that guider also, and we can increase the efficiency. I hope you got that example. You can connect that, sir.
So simple and so real time. Thank you.
Yes.
So wonderful examples. It was indeed music to my ears when I was listening to all the lean concepts and all, because I've been breathing that concepts for the last 8 to 10 years. So for the benefit of the audience who are into IT and entrepreneurship, guys, if you observe some of the concepts like Scrumban or the Kanban, right, and even the co-located teams, the rally, right, everything related to this agile methodology, and majority of the concepts having their influence as well as inspiration from lean world. That's why even I would say the concept of DevOps is also got influenced by lean, and that's why we are able to achieve too many deployments in a single day. And there are certain organizations which are able to deploy these software changes without requiring any manual approvals. Even the approval process got automated. And also, as Vasant said, lean is an ocean, and it is just a stepping stone. We are trying to scratch the surface during this episode. So definitely we are going to cover a lot of concepts in our future episodes as well.
Excellent. I think we have been focusing little more on Lean, Six Sigma, SMED, 5S, Kaizen and all. I really liked the concept of downtime. So now, Vasant, why don't we change the pace of this discussion by learning a little more about Vasant? So we will have small rapid fire session. Vasant, are you ready to know more about yourself on the personal side of it?
Yeah. Tell me, sir.
Okay, so here comes the first question. One major change that happened in your personal life after having appreciation of these tools and techniques. Anything that you changed from your personal life?
Yes. One major change means I would say that after learning these things, I thought that it is not applicable only in the professional life. It's not applicable only in the industries, only in the corporate. It is first applicable to me also, because it's more about our own personal life. Okay, so I started applying these tools and techniques in my own way also, like 5S. I am helping my wife also in implementing the 5S in home. Okay, I am also helping her clean the fans and everything. Okay, so more of a helping husband, rather, I would say that. After learning these things only, because once I teach the people, I should apply those learnings in my own way also. Then wife also happy with my own helping to her. So that's what I would say that learning is from Lean. These are the learnings from Lean which helped me personally also. And it helps me to save money on many things also. I always think in that way. Lean concepts में सोचता हूँ मैं, अगर चाहिए क्या नहीं चाहिए तो why should we go for that, and why should we unnecessarily incur on that? So personally it has benefited a lot to me also, these concepts.
That is really good to know. Happy wife means happy life. Moving on to the next question, Vasant. What is your passion?
My passion is to bring changes, rather, I would say that. That's why after 20 plus years of industrial experience, I was stuck in four walls of a company. So I was not enjoying that life also. My passion was to bring changes in the people's life, to educate people, okay, to teach people about these concepts. And I'm a good teacher, I would say. I consider myself. I want to teach people, bring smiles in their faces also. That's my passion. So I came to this industry and focused on my forte, that's lean manufacturing, Kaizen, TKM, all these concepts. By that, I'm bringing some changes wherever I go. So that is my passion, to bring positive smiles on the people's face by this way.
Wow, bringing smiles on people's faces, amazing. Excellent. So Vasant, let's move on to the next question. What is your definition of a best day for you?
Best day for you, I would say. It's a difficult question. Again, it's if lean related means I don't want to waste my day without doing anything or without doing any constructive thing. Okay, so I'm always busy with something, or learning or helping something on my own. Also, I used to learn something, do something, read something, or help wife or somebody. So that's the best. If I don't do anything like that, और if I don't do any learning on that day, I feel irritated. यार आज कुछ किया नहीं, नया कुछ किया भी नहीं है, सोचा भी नहीं है. It's like that. Again, it's a wastage. You would say lean wastage. That's the best day. If I do something, I feel happy. Today I have done something. Even if a little thing, squirrel effort, but I feel happy about that day.
Excellent. So, what is one dream company that you want to be associated with, that you want to be engaged with as part of your journey?
Okay. Dream company, not one company. Now I am focusing on SMEs basically at present. Since 2 years I am into this corporate training and development industry. So now I am focusing on SMEs. First I have to build my base. Okay, so now I am building my base foundation, developing a good reputation also. Now I want to switch over to corporates about this, to build a big team and switch over to the big corporates, so that the impact will be more. So that's my dream. Not one company, I would say, because I don't want to stick to only one company, but big corporate houses. When you can say, I come from Birla basically. I worked in Birla for 10 years and MNCs for 10 years. So one day I will want to work with my parent company itself as a consultant. Earlier I worked as an employee. Now I want to work as a consultant with the Birla groups. That would be my dream.
That would be great. Thank you, Vasant. The final question in rapid fire is, how do you define excellence?
Excellence, in my definition, so excellence is not only about earning money, not only about building house, not only about having a car, not only about achieving 100% efficiency or 99% efficiency, not only about having good scores, but ultimately being happy is excellence as for me. Whatever we do, we should feel happy about that at the end of the day. That is excellence. Otherwise, in spite of achieving all these great things, great materialistic things, if I'm not happy, if I'm not able to sleep in the night, I don't say it is an excellence. So ultimately being happy, whatever you achieve, whatever you do, whatever you have, ultimately that is the excellence for me. Excellence of my life, that's what I would define. Otherwise it's not excellence. What is it?
Absolutely. Yeah, that has been great rapid fire, and I thoroughly enjoyed all the questions and answers. So here comes the final question for this session today. What will be your one piece of advice for those who want to make big in their life?
Those who want to make only for students or what?
Anybody.
What is your advice for our listeners? Maybe.
Okay. So my advice would be, so we have to focus on enjoying our life first. Achieve whatever we plan. Put more efforts in that direction to achieve those goals, because it will not happen. Anything will not happen overnight. But mainly we get frustrated within short span of time, and we live putting efforts in that direction. To get results, it takes time. I would say during my conversation with an MD recently, he asked lean results overnight. Means within a month he wanted to get results. I say, to get a good baby, healthy baby, how much time you need to wait, sir? He said 9 months. Then for a healthy baby, you are waiting for 9 months, and for this lean results, you want overnight. How it is possible, sir? If you take out the baby in a hurry, 4th or 5th month, what happens? The baby is either died or not developed properly. So nothing will happen overnight. Okay, so we have to have patience, but persistence is more important. Putting efforts in that direction is more important, not losing the hopes. But one day, surely our days will come. That's what I feel. And I'm putting efforts in that direction. No great things will happen overnight. Everything will take its own time. Everything have its own incubation period, own processing period. Like for a baby, it's 9 months. We have to wait 9 months. So it's like that only. So life is a journey. We have to enjoy it. It's not a destination, I would say. Enjoy the life. Go on learning new concepts and apply those learnings, rather not just learning, apply those learnings in our life, so that our life will be more happier. So being a happy life should be our priority. Not having a car, bungalow, they will be there, but ultimately we should be happy having all those things also. That is more happy. So that happy life is my definition of excellence. Over to you, sir.
So Vasant, thank you so much for joining us today. It was indeed our great experience to talk to you about lean manufacturing, much more with much less. And I really liked these 8 ways of lean, Tim Woods. I'm sure our listeners and definitely me personally will be focusing on avoiding these 8 types of wastes. I'm sure our audience are going to love this conversation and put most of it in use, both in their personal and professional lives. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, sir, for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to share with you. So, thank you, Navinji. Thank you, Sudhakarji. Pleasure discussing with you about my life experience. Thanks again.
Thank you, Vasant, for joining us and sharing the wonderful perspectives.
So folks, if you are enjoying this podcast, make sure to check out the other technology-related podcast, Electronic Specifier Insights. Their editors dig into the electronics industry, how the new technology is shaping in post-COVID world, reviews from all the top electronic shows, and the latest technologies that the electronic companies are releasing. You can find them by searching Electronic Specifier Insights or by going to electronicspecifier.com/news/podcast. Dear listeners, to know more about our speaker and the content, refer to the show notes and visit or follow us on social media. We are available on LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta, Twitter, Pinterest, and also on YouTube. Just search for The Guiding Voice and then follow, like, subscribe to us, and also share within your network. In addition, please feel free to email us at The Guiding Voice for You. That is THEGUIDING VOICE 4 as a digit, U as a letter @gmail.com, or WhatsApp us on India number 9494587187. That is India number 9494587187, and we will be happy to collaborate with you.
Hey Sudhakar, can you talk about the exciting opportunity of featuring our audience on this show?
Sure, Naveen. So guys, of late, we have been receiving a lot of career guidance related questions from our regular listeners through YouTube, LinkedIn comments, WhatsApp and email. And we are responding to them on one-on-one basis. Now, we are pleased to open up a new mode of interacting with you all while providing a chance to broadcast yourself. If you have any questions related to education, career guidance, or a specific IT function, just send your voice message through speakpipe.com/theguidingvoice. We will play your question in your own voice along with the answer either from us or our expert panel in our future episodes. Hope you will utilize this wonderful opportunity.
Alright, so it brings us to the trivia segment of today's episode. And today's trivia is about Bluetooth. Do you know what was the rationale behind naming Bluetooth? Alright, you may be thinking. Let me reveal the answer. Bluetooth was named after a king named Harald Bluetooth. And he's the one who united Norway and Denmark. That might be the reason for naming this technology after Bluetooth, because it is about connecting devices. Interesting, isn't it? Thank you for listening. There is more in store, folks. Stay tuned. Take care, be safe. Until next time, bye-bye. And we are signing off.